Hi friends, today we are discussing about the sorry. Today we are discussing about the binding navigate and binding data sources for controls. Where is this other toolbox? Yeah, by binding navigator and binding sources. Binding navigator and binding sources. What is the purpose of binding navigator and binding sources? Binding navigator, when you are working with binding navigator, it is shows like a wizard kind of information can be able to see here. Just you can drag drop and binding navigator and binding source, and just go to the binding navigator properties. We can set the uh, so binding navigator properties. See, you can set the data source for the binding source one here, and after that we can create for four controls. One is ID, name, salary, designation. These are the ID, name, salary, designations are label controls. These are four are text box controls. You know, for label we need to have different properties. In text value we can add the ID value name. Here ID can be varied. But name can and on property level we can add the text for the things for labels. Like if you want to add a text box, if you want to add properties in properties we want to add for ID values, you can set the name places text ID. This is the ID name is text ID. This is for text. This ID is a text name, and this text salary is the text is name ID value. Designation is text city. Now we are going to these four field values are four field values are created here. After that, I will go to Visual Studio. Sorry, SQL Server. In SQL Server, I create one table is a department table. This department table having four columns: ID, name, salary, designation, and these four columns having the some values. They have how many total values they had? Total six values they had, and this is the database end. Once you created the table and insert the value into the database end, now we can look into the Visual Studio side. In Visual Studio side, yeah, earlier I told you already. We have four controls is there. Four controls is there, and for this each control we need to fetch the value here. Now I need to go the business logic here, and I've created one data business object and one a class name, one class field. That is a department class. Department class containing the four field values. One is ID, name, sal, designation. These four are uh, a database for table field values, table property values, table fields: ID, name, salary, designation. Those four names are we are called as we are calling here in Visual Studio. Once create the class for this thing, now I will go to the business logic for that thing. This is the department business logic. This is the in department business logic. I need to fetch the department's table name. I need to open the connection string, and once the connection string is open, I need to fetch the detailed values here. ID, name, salary, designation. Once you fetch these values, now I'm coming into the form or notes. This is the department. Once you fetch that one, I need to bind it to the each field value. Text ID having a ID column name, binding source. Text name has the binding source's name. Text has in the binding source's cell. Text CTV has the binding source's designation. Accordingly, I can bind it. Now we can check the logic, how to load the things and all these things. Now I'm debugging. I have put the debug point here. Run it. Now I create the business object, the department object here. Just I click the uh, now I'm going to the here department object class, and click the breakpoint and continue. Now business object class has been loaded here. After that, I click 1 2 3. Now how many records are fetching here? Total 6 records need to fetch it here, because see total records is count. This count is equal to database rows count. Now, now, okay. Now I need to load this loop is 6 times. This is the first time, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, sixth time. Now terminate loop. Now outside. Now when tickets came, 11, 6 records, total 6 records. Now continue. No, no. One field value has been loaded. No, loaded. See, six value. First one, second value, third value, fourth value, fifth value, sixth value. Now move to first value. First value is 111. And again, last value. I want to go last value. Yes, this is the way we can delete. If I want to delete anything, just here, delete here. Total 5 records. If you want anyone, just you can add it here. Just add it here value. Sorry. Just no. This is the way. See. Yeah, this is the binding source control can be worked on that. And and next classes I will give the data source, data grid view, combo box, list box controls uses, and all these things. Please subscribe my channel, please. I will give complete WinForms applications, web applications, web API, MVC controls demo. I will give on that. Everything I will give you on that, and demo projects also I will give you on that. Please subscribe my channel.